Well, hello everyone. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mike.
And this is The Real Cine-Files, a discussion show about movies and entertainment, your spot for all things cinema. And we are so stoked that you're joining us for our first episode ever. We'll have movie reviews, themed discussions, special segments, and even challenges. We've got tons of great stuff in store, and we're so excited to be bringing this to you. And here shortly, we're going to be talking about Longlegs, which we literally just came from seeing, and I'm so excited to get into. I know Mike is as well. But before we do that, we thought it would be a great idea for you to get to know us a little bit as it pertains to movies, a bit of history, personal history, if you will. Just kind of what movies mean to us while we're doing this, the state of movies, just their significance to us. So we thought, what better way than to have a all around discussion about movies in general. I feel like I said that already. If I did, then forgive me. But we did not actually rehearse this conversation. We've had tons of conversations, Mike, about obviously movies, and that's how we found out that we love them so much and we wanted to do this. And this podcast gives us an opportunity, an outlet more than anything, to just talk about movies. That's what we want to do. But we have not actually had this conversation. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit, and then you'll have a better idea of us, who we are, and kind of what you can come to expect from our show. So let me say this. And I know I'm going to be dating myself a little bit by saying this, but I'm older than you, okay? But I'm not that much older. So let's not make me feel like as old as I am, and I'm sorry right now. The audience, you'll just have to guess how old I am. I'm not going to get into it because I'm still in denial about that. But when I was coming up, they didn't have the term cinephile. It was, you were a movie buff, a movie junkie, a film fanatic, blah, 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 or just a loser who had no life, which that's the one you heard a lot. So, movies have always been like magical to me, and I don't really know what happened for it to be that way, but it's like from the very beginning, the way that movies were introduced to me, it was like they were introduced to me as this magical thing. And it's not like my mom or my older sister or godmother, that's who I, grew up with the early critical years of my life. It's not like they had some big disclaimer about movies being magic. It's just, as soon as the first one came on, that was like it for me. It just was forever branded into my brain as this magical experience. And so much so that I can, remember the first video cassette that I ever saw, the first movie I ever saw, and the first movie in theaters I ever saw. I saw E.T., as I've told you that. I saw E.T. In 1984. I wasn't even quite 4 years old. And I remember that. And I don't meet too many adults, especially near my age bracket, that can remember anything before age 10. And it's a little weird, but that should tell you how important movies are. And then I also remember the first movie that I saw in theaters, and it was Pinocchio. And it was actually, I believe, later that year. It was 1984. It was when the Disney's Pinocchio, animated Pinocchio, got re-released in theaters, and I remember it, and it's just forever there. And I can't get rid of it, and I would never want to anyway. I've probably seen too many movies for any normal person not getting paid for it. But that's just what they are. They're just special. They're magic to me. They are, and I know that you probably have some stuff to say about this. They have always been an escape for me. They take me places. They take you places where you may never go yourself or may never get the chance to go. Yeah. And that's just it. The last thing I'll say, and I'll yield the platform to you, Mike, is that people used to say, get a life, man. Don't you want to get a life? Don't you want to go out and do this and that? And yeah, sure, I want to get a life, but I got that life. I chose this life. I'm content to just stay at home and watch a movie while other people go out and do other things, or of course go to the theaters, which we'll talk about. But I mean, I don't need much else, because it's like I get to fully immerse myself. And this is the melodramatic part that, you know, Mike cringes at this stuff, I know. But like, I get to immerse myself in this mesmerizing world of stories being unfolded before me. And I get to experience all these places and emotions that I may not ever get to otherwise. And it's like, I choose that over the other stuff any day of the week.
Yeah.
I just do. And I believe that, you know, movies, I mean, you know, some people, they love animals more than human beings. We've met those kind of people. They're kind of strange, but they're also understandable. But I'm different. I love movies more than human beings. Isn't that great? That's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, I don't really. I don't. No, I do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. If that makes me a loser, then I'll proudly sport the L, man. I will. So, but anyway, enough about me for a second. Let's. What do you think, man? What's it to you?
Movies mean to me? Well, when I first started watching movies, I was living with my aunt in the hood, and it was a way of escape. And you know, you get, like you said, you get to go on adventures. You know, it took me away from that place.
Yeah.
Just for a short while, but
you needed that.
Yeah, I needed that, and eventually I moved with my dad and my mom, and you know, we used to have movie night, and we used to go to Blockbuster.
Oh my God, I remember that, dude.
Yeah.
Movie night. You had a specific night of the week.
Yeah, and we used to rent movies out, and the whole family used to get together. I got like 4 siblings. We used to get together, and we used to watch movies together. And I remember one time we rented this movie. It was Dinosaurs. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh
but
my
it was
God,
Dinosaurs,
I do remember that.
But we rented it on pay-per-view.
Oh,
yeah.
Pay-per-view in the 90s, huh?
Well, this was in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s,
Early
okay,
2000s.
Okay. Yeah.
But, you know, among some of the movies I remember watching as a kid was mostly Disney movies.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite movies was James and the Giant Peach.
Oh my God, that was a great movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
And Ants, Bugs Life. I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are both great. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So to me, you know, movies remind me of family. And
That's
it remind me of something that should be shared with people.
That's good, man.
To me, that's what movies mean to me. You know what I'm saying? Something that comforts me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, they bring me laughter. They bring me pain. I mean, they bring me all types of emotions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, up on the screen.
Yeah. They make you feel things that you need to feel that you may not otherwise,
Yeah.
That's good, man.
I don't want to say cry because I'm a man.
Yeah. I've never teared up in a movie. Are you kidding me? Please.
I might have cried when Simba dad died.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that messed us all up, man. I mean, Mufasa, good Lord.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't believe they're releasing a new, I think, Mufasa live action.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see it? It was on the poster. That's when I noticed it was on the poster going into the movie tonight. And I thought, wow, walking by this heartwarming Disney movie into a heart-wrenching horror movie. It was just, it was hilarious. But yeah, Mufasa. Anyway, it's funny. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And so I'm sure with movies being as important to both of us as they are, you know, you can see that the state of movies is not the greatest right now, unfortunately, especially in theaters. I will say this, like for tonight, to see an almost full theater for a horror film, no less, that was
good.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was great. But right now, it's like hit or miss what is actually going to do well, what's going to perform well, and what's not. I mean, we've already talked about it endlessly. There's a number of other examples, but you can look at the 2 big budget movies that we've discussed before, Fall Guy and Furiosa, which were expected to do very well. And, you know, both movies, you pointed out, were actually really good movies. You know, not perfect films, but they were really good movies. And they just didn't do well. Neither one of them on their opening weekends. And there, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, analytics and, metrics out there you can study to figure out why exactly, but a lot of it's just going to be speculation. But the point is, you want to see movies like that. They're meant to be experienced on the big screen. And I think there are a lot of movies that are made for the big screen. They're made to go see in theaters. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the convenience of streaming. I know you do too.
Yes.
But, I mean, come on, man. There's nothing that can make up for
getting out the house.
Yeah. And having that, I mean, I'm a robot in my routine when it comes to the theater, and I have not changed it much. There's little variations therein, but I got to have my drink, and I got to have my popcorn. I got to have my candy. Or at least some of that, I mean, it's the whole experience. Now they've got even more. You were just pointing out that you just noticed they got a bar there so people can drink and watch movies now if they want. And then they got...
Making me jealous here. I can't have none of that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. You're vegan. That sucks. So you're limited on the concessions. So, but I think you can have those gourmet popcorns, right? Some of them?
Yeah, I'm cutting back.
Well, you're doing good. I need to do the same. I need to watch you. When you got a bottle of water tonight, I was like, oh my God, I got to stop this. I mean, it's good that I'm not doing sodas anymore, but I'm sure the high C is not the greatest for me.
Yeah.
It's like liquid sugar, pretty much, but at least it's not any high fructose corn syrup or carbonation or whatever. So, so I tell you what, I think now you have at least a little bit of an idea of who we are, a little bit better. And so you may be asking yourself, and I don't know, you may have seen my little goofy 2-minute trailer kind of letting you know that the show was coming. But I kind of alluded to this and that there are, there's so many people out there doing, podcasts, just researching like what it would take to do this and like what all's out there and so on and so forth. I've seen how many there are out there. So many channels. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed it too, man. Channels and videos and podcasts covering even this field, this category of TV and entertainment. And I guess you could ask yourself, why would I listen to these guys? What's the difference? What makes us different, like in all seriousness? And I'll say this, what makes us different and what I think that you should listen to us for is the fact that we do not know everything. Exactly. I pretty much just said that we want you to listen to us because we don't know everything. Let me ask you, well, Mike, have you ever personally subjected yourself on purpose to a know-it-all?
No.
No, right? Who would like that? But we've all been caught up in conversations and experiences with them, and you want to get away as soon as possible. It's a painful thing. And I mean, even if you haven't, you just people that have that air about them. You don't purposefully want to do that. And we are not that. We don't want to even pretend to be that. I do believe I have a weird, oddly bizarre, freakish amount of movie knowledge. It's kind of strange, but and I would use that to our benefit for our conversations and for this show, and I'm glad about that. And Mike knows a good bit as well. But here's the thing: what we know from our treasured experiences from movies, and the indelible mark they've made on us. And so basically that's what we're going to share with you. All we can share are our takes, our opinions. This whole thing is subjective anyway and based off of preference. Like I said, all we have is our opinions. We think they're right. I'm not going to lie. We think they're right, and we hope you think they are too, but that's all we have. And we just want to share our takes with you on things. Sometimes they'll be, crazy, off the wall. Sometimes they'll be hilarious, but that's all that they are. And that's what you can expect from us. So that's what makes us different, and I hope that you stick around, and I hope that you plug in with us and engage, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We just love movies, and it's fun to talk about them. And I sometimes wonder why I haven't done this sooner. So
That's what he's trying to say. Is we just two average guys who love movies.
yep, that's it. We're diehard fans. So I mean, I don't get me wrong. You know, critics have their place, but I mean, there's enough critics in the world.
Yeah.
I would rather listen to a fan than a critic any day. I mean, most of the time, critics.
Yeah, I'd rather take a opinion from an average Joe because I feel like those critics be being paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot of that going
absolutely, absolutely. They're bought and sold.
So
just saying.
it's like when you go on Rotten Tomatoes, everybody always look at the Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah.
instead of the critic review
Yeah, yeah.
because you can
The
get
fan
more
reviews?
Of a, yeah, the fan
Yeah,
reviews.
yeah.
Yeah, you can get more of an accurate opinion when you listen to the fans.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And sometimes I mean, you've actually said this. Like if you trust some of what the critics say, you. And I'm not anti Rotten Tomatoes. Every now and then I've agreed with some of their top critics reviews, but most of the time I don't. Like you said this before, and it stuck in my mind. Like you step away after reading what they said, and you watched what you watched, and you're like, did we see the same movie?
Yeah.
Like it's like, what in the world? Like we couldn't have seen the same movie. So, and then of course the last thing, I keep coming back to this about why you should listen to us. I mean, who else has reels? Reels and reels on files, man. Come on now. This was a lot of work. This took me back to 5th grade arts and crafts, man. It was awesome. Anyway, let's get into it, man. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, I'm ready to get
Oh,
into
man.
it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. So, yeah, it is on the nose, but we do have real, we're not just Cine-Files. We have real Cine-Files, and it's a very useful tool. So, we're going to talk about Longlegs for the next few minutes and then dive into, I would say probably our favorite movie genre, horror. We're going to have a discussion about horror. So, we're going to talk about Longlegs. Let me just read this to you. This is the overview. Longlegs is a horror movie written and directed by Oz Perkins, the son of the late Anthony Perkins of Psycho. So he's got a rich heritage in horror. Hitchcockian DNA, for sure, even though he's not one who would want to be defined by conventional or contemporary horror confines. So, but Longlegs is about an FBI agent, Lee Harker, played by Micah Monroe. She's assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker also discovers a personal connection to this killer, played by none other than Nicolas Cage, who has plagued communities for decades, and she must stop him before he strikes again. And I'm going to go ahead and say, before we dive into this conversation, this will be spoiler-free. Okay, and I want to keep it that way. I know Mike does too, because I don't want to ruin this movie in the slightest for anybody. I will go ahead and say that I think you should go see this movie.
Yes.
Mike, I guess agrees with me on that. I will say this too. We have not discussed this. We purposefully, like walking out of the movie, talked about something else. We have not discussed this whatsoever. So this is all fresh. And so we're not going to spoil it. If we feel like we're in danger of giving something critical away, we will kind of announce it. I'll throw a reel at the camera or something. I'm just kidding. And we'll let you know so that you can kind of step away and come back and watch or listen to the rest later after you've seen the movie. So I'll start out, and I'll just ask, like, Mike, what did you think?
I thought it was a great movie, and if you're a horror movie fan, it was disturbing.
Yeah.
It was really disturbing. But I like the investigating part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you don't like investigation stuff, but I like that
I do
about
in the right way. It was
Yeah.
good on this one, for
yeah,
sure.
it was real good. And all the clues and stuff she had to figure out, and well, I can't spoil the movie.
Yeah. Well, I see what you're getting at, for sure. And I'll be honest with you, it was definitely kind of moody, cerebral,
Yeah.
a little slow burn. But the way that this director, the way that Oz Perkins does it, it's like, it sucks you in. It's very engaging.
Yeah.
Like you're right there. I mean, even people that don't have the patience for a lot of tedious detail and nuance, within certain plots, like the way that he paces it, it's just like you can't be bored.
Yeah.
And all the details matter in this, especially in the investigating. Like when it's like this, it's very alluring. It sucks me in, and so I can deal with it. Like other times, you could probably say I'm one of those people with not enough of an attention span.
Yeah.
With the investigation, and I do sometimes feel like people, in certain stories and other films, the kind of the investigating part can become laborious and mundane.
Yeah.
And it kind of dilutes the story a little bit, but not in this in any way. And so I'll say I liked it as well. There were some cool tricks that he did. There was one very, very, actually more than one, but one in particular, one specific set piece in this film that was, extremely disturbing. Actually, I'm thinking of three now. There were three, but the one where I'm not giving too much away here, I promise, where she is she's in the house and she's at the desk. She just talks to her mom.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden she thinks she sees something, and then goes outside, comes back in, and she's got a note from the killer. That whole set piece, that was incredible and very, very scary, very eerie.
To me, Nicolas Cage was disturbing.
Man.
He played that part so well.
So good.
It was so disturbing.
He's a
good actor.
It was crazy too, because what was really neat about this movie and him in this movie is you could not separate, classic Nicolas Cage from the role, yet it fit in perfectly for this very psychotic killer character.
Yes.
Like it fit perfectly with it. And it's like, so I had such an appreciation for the, certain undertones of that were clearly just Nicolas Cage through and through, but the way that they fit in and were used for this character, like it was perfect. He was channeling something.
And I like how they always go back to the supernatural, like, you know what I'm saying? Like to demons, Satan, and all that. I like how they tied that in.
Yeah, big time. And this director is really big on that. He flirts with that quite a bit.
Yes,
and he did it in his first movie, The Black Coat's Daughter, which we both just rewatched this week. And man, that was something else. Like it just he made it. He made his mark with that one. You could know from then on that this was a director to look out for, and he's done it again with Longlegs. I would say also about the performances. Did you like the performances?
Yeah, the performances was good.
They were great. Let's say this as well. Nicolas Cage, he was not the only eerie part. The mother, oh my God.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
She was crazy as hell.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
That caught me off guard, and her performance was incredible. And I'm usually on point with actors and actresses' names, but her name is escaping me right now. But she is, I'm going to give it to you right now, actually. What am I doing? I got a phone here.
And matter of fact, that's what's so good about his writing style. He kind of take you in so many different directions. You trying to put the story together, and then he just be like, nope, you had it wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
He does that a lot.
Yeah.
It has you tripping, like.
Yeah. You didn't see it coming at all. Yeah, and you couldn't have predicted it at all.
Yeah.
And we're not giving it away. We're not going to tell you. We're not, as much as you may want to know, we're not going to tell. And don't go on and read about it. You're going to spoil it for you. Believe me, it's worth it. You want the experience. You want the turn. You want the twist. It pays off in the end. But the character I'm talking about is the mother, and she's played by Alicia Witt. I haven't actually seen her in much for a while, but she came on strong in this role. She was great, Alicia Witt. And then of course Kiernan Shipka, who was in Black Coat's Daughter as well. She was in one scene, and oh my gosh, she was scary as hell too. The girl in the institute.
Oh yeah.
In the mental hospital.
Yes.
I mean, the way that she said, "Happy as peaches." Oh my God! How about that? I'd be as happy as peaches to jump out this window if he told me to and see the ground coming up to greet me. Oh my God!
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Oh my gosh!
That was
I
mad
think I got that
disturbing.
line right. That's the only thing I'm spoiling. I just gave
Yeah.
one line to you.
Yeah, that was mad disturbing.
Yeah. So, but fantastic movie. Good horror movie. Good thriller. Good serial killer thriller. And so, I mean, we got to be fair. So we'll say trying to think of what I didn't like about it. One more thing that I did like about it. I loved what he did going from 4x3 letterbox to 16:9.
Yeah.
In more than one place in the movie.
Yeah.
I think that added a lot of effect. It made what he was trying to do a whole lot more effective. I'll just put it that way. So, let's see. What did you dislike about it? Did you think of anything? Can you think of anything that just? It's not going to be much. I'll tell you that because I thought it was an excellent movie.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It did its job.
Yeah, it really did.
It creeped me out. So yeah, it did its job.
Oh, I know what I disliked about it. The dude a little bit near us who was trying to talk in the movie. Who was that guy? I mean, I don't know who invited him, but I'm just kidding. It was Mike's dad. We always give him a hard time. We love him to death, but he's oblivious. He'll just be like start blurting something out at full volume and everything. And what was so great is he got his first shush that we've ever seen, and we've been going to movies like a lot over the past few months, and it was the first real shush. I felt like we were in grade school again. It was funny, but no, it was an excellent movie. And I guess we'll just say our overall take, we give it 2 reels. Just kidding. We don't have an actual rating system. I was toying around with that idea. Like if one of us likes it and the other one doesn't, that's 1 reel. And then if we both like it, it's 2 reels. But look, man, that's just ripping off Siskel and Ebert.
Well, what
with
do you
thumbs.
give it out of a 10?
Out of a 10, I tell you what. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a hard 9.
All right, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay. All right. So you can see it's a good movie. I was gonna say 8.5, but I rounded up. You know what I'm saying? Man, wow. So Longlegs, go see it. Now, okay. This is our magical, clever segue into our horror discussion. And that's a joke. It's not some magical or clever, probably, but we're not just going to talk about horror because it's obviously the movie that we saw tonight, and it seems like an obvious choice. But we want to talk about horror because we love the genre, and right now, the year is great for horror. It is ripe for horror. It is like horror is having a resurgence right now, and I'm sure you've noticed this. We've talked about it a little bit, but I mean, I'm talking about just already this year. There has been a number of horror films, like more than usual. Not just first quarter, but first half, and not all of them were great. It was hit or miss with some of them, but there were a number of them. We got Abigail, which we saw together.
No, I see Abigail. I saw The Watchers with you.
You didn't see Abigail with me?
Nah, I think you seen that one by yourself.
Oh, that's right. That was me going solo, which I have no problem doing.
Flying solo.
I wasn't alone at all, or lonely at all. Definitely alone, but not lonely, I swear. But anyway, so you got like Abigail, Late Night with the Devil, First Omen, In a Violent Nature, Immaculate, The Watchers, which we did see together, Tara, Terrible. Oh my gosh. And I hate it too because, that's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, and obviously that DNA's there, literally and metaphorically, but I think she's got potential. just it was poorly executed.
Yeah.
Poorly executed. But that, I mean, honestly, we could rip that movie like a lot. It was really funny, actually.
Fairy's gonna get you.
The fairy, yeah. How scary is that? I mean, even as soon as you announce fairy, it's like, oh my
That killed the whole movie.
It
for
did.
Me.
It's like, man, oh no, it's going the fairy direction. I was like, it went from like the signs and village to Fern Gully.
And then they tried to push you. They crawled their way out there. Who cares? It's fairies.
That's so good. Oh, that's good. Oh man. So like I said, Immaculate, Terra, and I gave Terra a chance. I rented it on streaming. It not great. I mean, some good terrifying jump scenes, but nothing great. The Exorcism, which just hit streaming as well, available for on-demand rental, and Strangers Chapter 1, which we saw together.
That was good.
That was good. It was enjoyable. It's no number one. It's not the first one. Nothing like the first one, but good. Very enjoyable. A good horror movie. And I think we got another one of those coming. It's not going to be this year. I don't think it's going to be 25, I think. And then, of course, Maxine, which I went and saw this week as well, which was the third installment.
How was it?
I really liked it. It was the third in the trilogy by Ty West. The first one was X was released first, and then he released the prequel Pearl, and Mia Goth was in all three of them, and Maxine was the third one, and it was. We're not gonna review that right now, but it was really good. I don't think it was as good as X, but it was enjoyable. I had a good time.
So out of the three, what would you rate it? I mean,
I would say X is the best, and then I'd say it's tied with Pearl, but Pearl's a little better. Maxine wasn't the strongest, but I still think it was good. I think it was successful. I think what he was trying to do was successful. But the point is, these are all the movies that have already been released, and I'm not even including every single one. There's other horror films as well that I'm not even mentioning. But what's to come still this year is, I mean, it's incredible. You've got four. First of all, we saw a couple of the previews in this movie. You got Cuckoo coming out. You got Heretic, which is the new one by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who did Quiet Place, and Hugh Grant's in that one. So you got Cuckoo, you got Heretic, you got Afraid with John Cho, another little play and iteration on the whole, AI or robot thriller like Megan. Did you see Megan?
Oh yeah.
You liked it?
That was good.
It was good, wasn't it?
Was
I
good.
mean, everybody likes that idea. This one looks like a little bit more terrifying.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny. Especially when you start doing this acrobatic stuff. Oh my gosh! But it's called Afraid. And then you got Speak No Evil, a James Watkins directed remake of a 2022 Danish horror film that caused quite a stir. And I actually didn't watch it. And as soon as I was finally going to watch the foreign version of Speak No Evil, I found out they were releasing this version, and I held off. And we've seen the trailer for it a number of times now, and it looks really good.
Hope it live up to the hype.
I do too. So, but all that I just mentioned to you, that's not even the heavy hitters. We've got four other major heavy hitters still to come out this year. You got Trap, which we both discussed. We hope lives up to the hype, especially after the failure of Watchers.
You got to live up to that.
And it's M. Night Shyamalan's new one with Josh Hartnett. You got that coming out in August. You've got Fede Alvarez doing Alien Romulus.
I'm so looking forward to that one.
Oh, that's gonna be. It's gotta be fantastic. And he did Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. Both, I mean, superb films.
Yes. Big fan of Evil Dead.
So you got M. Night Shyamalan, Fede Alvarez. These are like major horror giants right now, in my opinion. And then the other two that I'm most excited about is you've got it was
Smile 2.
but it's actually not. That's not even the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
Is it
Robert Eggers, okay, Nosferatu. Listen,
Yeah, you was telling me about that.
and I know that's not one that you know a whole lot about. I was kind of letting you know, and Mike's agreed to do some good homework on this that he will enjoy, because the history of Nosferatu is just very compelling,
Yeah.
to say the least. But you got the original one from 1922.
Is it like a silent
And
film?
I believe it was 1922. Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's the remake in 1979, where Klaus, blah blah blah. I'm forgetting his last name. Forgive me. Plays him. And then you've got the year 2000, Shadow of the Vampire, with John Malkovich
Yeah.
and Willem Dafoe, who actually plays the vampire in that movie.
Okay.
I would recommend watching you can go on YouTube and watch, most of the original silent film. It's really creepy, and that way you can see where a lot of them pull their, inspiration and art direction from.
Yeah.
But I recommend watching the 1979 one and then watching Shadow of the Vampire in 2000. But I'm digressing, forgive me. But you've got Robert Eggers, who did The Witch and The Lighthouse. Both very different, but like excellent movies. He's just got a style, and I can't think of a better person like who has a specific style that would fit remaking Nosferatu than this guy, Robert Eggers. So I'm extremely excited about that. And of course, the other two I said, Trap and Alien Romulus. But then here comes the last one, and I know that some people that know me that are gonna get this story, they're gonna laugh or email me something hateful, because I'm reminding them of this horrible memory that I'm about to bring up. But the movie that we both talked about looks wicked cool with Halle Berry, Never Let Go.
Yes.
That looks incredible. And I did not realize until this week that movie is being done by Alexander Aya, the French filmmaker who did The Hills Have Eyes, the remake in 2006. And then a few years before that, a French movie called High Tension. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Well, let me tell you about this guy. High Tension. Oh my gosh. Okay, this guy is just like really good with gratuitous violence. Let's just say that to start out. Very, very, very graphic and very disturbing. Like that movie was extremely like very psychological thriller, cerebral and moody and all that stuff. But I mean, just talk about shocking. Shocking twist, but it was French and it was foreign. So all I knew is I saw one trailer for it. I was living in Pensacola at the time, going to school, and I saw a trailer and I told my friends about it, a couple friends. It was like, I took two of my roommates, I think, and one of my roommates' fiancés at the time. It was like 3 or 4 of us that went. And we didn't really know what to expect. I didn't, but let me tell you, as soon as there was necrophilia and a head getting sawed off, and it was in French, listen, they're looking at me like, what in the hell? What in the actual F did you bring us to? Like, I mean, it was like, and I mean, it was so shocking. You see something so shocking, you're like frozen to the chair. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it was. It was like that. What an experience. And of course, I have to this day gotten nothing but crap for taking them to that movie. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Over the top for sure, but they hated it. It wasn't their thing. I mean, they're not like me. I'm cut from a different strange cloth.
It could have been worse. You could have took them to the Human Centipede.
Oh my god. What if they re-released that in theaters? That would be a cool trick to play on somebody. What are we going to see? Oh, it's going to be a great movie, romantic comedy with blah blah blah. Yeah, and then they see that. Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
told never watch that movie. It's so disturbing.
I have never seen it, and I don't ever want to see it. If that disqualifies me from being a legitimate horror source, then whatever.
What they call that, body disfigurement, like the weird, like The Fly. You ever seen that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I ain't watched that because I don't like that real.
Oh man,
gross
I got to
stuff.
trick you. I got to set up the fly for you, man.
I don't
No.
like that gross stuff.
But that's not even all the movies. But as you can see, it's a I mean, it's a fantastic year for horror.
Yeah.
Fantastic year, and we're super excited about it. So, why don't we just talk a little bit? We got a few more minutes. We want to talk about. I mean, honestly, horror is like a multi-segment conversation. We could spend a lot of time on so many aspects of the genre and the different subgenres within it. But we'll just talk for a few minutes about some of our favorites and why horror is so good and why we like it so much. And I'll just say it like this: horror is kind of a funny talk for me because I don't know if you can relate to this or not, Mike, but it was almost like it was tried to be kept away from me.
Yeah.
Like they tried to keep it away from me, and Mom would always say, "Oh, you can't see, that's demonic. You can't see that, it's demonic." I mean, like, yeah, but that made you all the more want to see it. You know what I mean? It's like
my mom was the same. She was a Christian.
Yeah.
Anything was demonic.
Yeah, it's
couldn't
like,
even watch Harry Potter.
I mean, it's like, come on, man, you're taking all the fun from me. So
She said John Hagee said that Harry Potter.
John Hagee
Yeah,
said.
she said John Hagee said that Harry Potter is demonic and you can't watch that. So we couldn't watch horror movies and.
Oh man, so you made up for it later on, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
I think the first movie I seen was Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Oh, sure. You want to talk about introduction? Then that's
Yeah.
quite an introduction to horror right there, man.
Yeah.
And well, it's like one of those things. It makes you all the more want to see it even more. It makes you curious. And I mean, people can have their different opinions about it or whatever, but horror hits on different emotions and feelings than any
Yeah.
other movie. And there is, especially when it comes to, again, there's different styles of horror, but especially when it comes to the supernatural, the paranormal, or whatever, there's a part in us that like craves the extraordinary.
Yeah.
And the mystery and the figuring things out and the suspense and the dark thing that can sometimes be I don't know, it can be this undefinable concept that just always has you wonder about things. And so I mean, it's just I think we like it for that reason, and it's just a very compelling genre. And don't get me wrong, I think it's, even though some of it's misguided, the whole you can't see it because of blah 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 blah, I do think that sometimes it was probably good that I was kept from it, because some of that stuff it will give you some nightmares, and it will kind of haunt you a little bit. And I went through that, and I was like, yeah, maybe it was good that I was kept from some of it for a time. But here's the thing, I wasn't kept from all of it, because listen, I had experiences. Y'all already know I got this freakishly autistic memory with stuff and my experiences. I remember my introduction to different horror things, man. And listen, I had in the house I grew up in, the first 5 or 6 years of my life, it was the living room was like, first of all, an all hardwood, think pine or probably pine. Who knows what kind of wood? Who cares? Floors and walls. And it was a wide open space, the living room, and then there was this sliding glass door that led out into what used to be a patio, but it got closed in. That was my room, and I had a bunk bed that was situated right against the sliding glass door. Well, I figured out, before the age of 5, how to, flip the latch so that I could, from the top bunk, slide that sliding glass door just enough so I could peek out. Because what did they do, Mike? They sent me to bed, sent the child to bed, so they can watch their horror film in secret. Oh, you can't watch this. This is for grown-ups. What is it that they say? This is this isn't for children. This is for the big people, or whatever. I got so tired of hearing that crap, man. So I guess what, I found a way. And I watched that shit. Listen, I opened that door and I watched it, and listen, I immediately regretted it. Let me tell you, that curiosity, oh my gosh, they made the right choice, because then after I saw what I was so desperate to see and I couldn't sleep after, great choice, Brandon.
I remember when I was young, my parents used to go to this laundromat, and this guy used to always have the Sci-Fi channel on. And one day, Children of the Corn was on, and this dude was saying something, I guess in like Yiddish or something. He was preaching or something, and all of a sudden, these beasts was in the field, and these crosses just started shooting up. Man, that thing scared me so much I couldn't sleep for a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that movie is disturbing. Still to this day, it's disturbing.
It was the original one you're talking
Yes.
about? Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
hell
the
yeah.
OG.
That'll get you.
Oh my goodness.
That'll get you, man. Let me tell you. Listen, I still remember. Like I remember the image from the TV. This wasn't even the one that I saw through the sliding glass door, but I was walking through. I couldn't sleep one night, and I was walking through the living room, and I think it was my mom. Yeah, the one who didn't want you to see the horror, but they're gonna watch it. You know, the whole "do as I say, not as I do." I couldn't stand that junk, man. It pissed me off. So, like, I was walking through. I couldn't sleep one night, and they had Salem's Lot on. I don't know if you ever saw that,
I haven't seen that.
but I still remember I saw that there was that scene where the casket was, it was open, and that Nosferatu looking type vampire, totally pale with the pointy ears and the claws, and the long fingered. Oh my God, that image was like just singed into my brain, man. Like it was so disturbing, and it stuck with me. And then I remember a few years later. I was like 7 years old, maybe 8 at the most. We had moved, and we lived over on, like, actually not too far from this road.
Yeah.
Up the street, and there was an older kid. He was in 5th or 6th grade, but there were no other kids on the street to play with. And it was funny too because his name was Brandon as well. Well, his house was always mysterious, and I could tell my mom didn't want me to really hang out with this guy or his family. They were, for whatever reason, and I figured out why. Because the day finally came where I was actually invited into the house.
Yeah.
And even the house felt like it was a scene from a damn horror movie, man. Like, I mean, it smelled, and it just like had this weird decoration. It was dark, and they had red lights on. It's almost like they were like having a setting for a seance or something, man. It was weird. But I remember walking in. I wasn't even there to hang out. I was invited in to wait while the older Brandon went and got something. And his older brother and dad were sitting there on their big L-shaped couch, and they were watching Nightmare on Elm Street. That was my first introduction to that series, and it was the scene in the boiler room.
Yeah.
And he's like running his claws and like saying whatever freaky thing that only Robert Englund can say. Like, and listen, I was like stunned that whole like being frozen in terror thing that was going on right then and there. But that's experiencing life. That's fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe I didn't sleep for a little bit. It wasn't that fun at the time, afterwards. But I mean, I think about that, and that's the stuff like, that's why we love horror, man. You want to get scared sometimes. I don't know why we subject ourselves to it, but we do. We like the way it makes us feel.
Yeah, it don't just make you scared. It kind of makes you excited, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It brings
gets that adrenaline going, man.
that fight and flight, you know what I'm saying, feeling.
We want to trigger that in us sometimes, man.
But overall, Freddy, he my favorite.
Yep. I was going to ask you, too. I know that Nightmare on Elm Street is your series, your favorite series.
But the first one I was introduced to, like I told you, was the second one. And it wasn't the greatest because it didn't have many kills in it.
Right.
It was just like this whole build up. And to me, it really wasn't like a Nightmare on Elm Street because it had really nothing to do with dreams.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the first one, to me, is the best. And the second best one is number 3.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be the first one. I mean, with Wes Craven literally at the helm in every way, it's going to automatically be better.
Yeah, he said he wanted to stop at the first one.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't. I mean, he had a little bit of involvement in some of the other installments, but that was the only one he really fully wasn't in charge of, writing and directing and producing it. And so, he has a way of doing. He's got a way.
But if he would have kept writing, it would have been horrible.
You think so?
Yeah, he was gonna change the B word to the other word. I don't want to say it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh hell no! That's crazy. But so I mean. And I mean, this one, I'm not gonna. Y'all know I could talk. Obviously, you can figure out I can talk nonstop, especially about this. But this would take forever to get into, so we'll save it for another conversation. But you already know what my favorite series is. Halloween, all day. And I know some of my friends.
His favorite one is Season of the Witch.
Oh, hell no, man. Oh, my God. That junk is crazy. Oh, my God. The Halloween 3 that should have never been. What the hell was that, man? Golly. Listen. Oh, man, Halloween. I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat it, okay? You got them all.
Yeah.
You got Okay, you got the original, 1978. Halloween 2, 1981. You got Halloween 3, don't count. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I believe that was in 1988. Then you got Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers, 1989. Then you got Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Dimensions Films.
Yeah.
Back on that one. That was in 1995. Then you had H2O. Okay. Oh my God, I remember going. We got so excited when H2O came out. Halloween 7, H2O. Jamie Lee Curtis back in it.
That was actually good.
It was 1998, and man, me and my best friend Dan went, and we actually think I had a couple people that went and saw that with us, and that was so great. And then you had Halloween Resurrection. That was Halloween 8. After that, that was 2002. Then you had the zombie era. I don't know who wants to know this. I'm just firing it off, man, because it's like that's my Halloween.
I don't know. I think I like the Rob Zombie ones. They was pretty good.
I know you did. You did like them, and you weren't as entrenched though in the lore of it and the original.
I watched all the original besides Season of the Witch, but I watched I watched all the original.
But it's just something. I mean, I'm not knocking his. I enjoyed his to an extent for what they were, but they were just a little bit more. There's a word for it. It's they were just more kind of like blatant. They were just they kind of turned it. It was less eerie to me. It was still scary, but it didn't have a certain feel to it that was accompanied. That the film was accompanied by the original. It just didn't. It was different for me. I wasn't against it, but it just was a little bit too. I don't know how to put it.
We're talking about Rob Zombie.
Yeah, right? The Rob Zombie one. He had the 2007 one, then he did Halloween 2 in 2009, which was even more like just.
Well, you said they turned him more into was it like a sociopath or a psychopath? One of those two.
Yeah, he was. It seemed like it was less. It had that less. It didn't have that dark. Like, undertone of like the druid lore, the demonic side, the curse of Thorn, the Night of Samhain, all that. That wasn't really at play in it. It was just, and I mean, don't get me wrong, psychopaths, sociopaths are scary as well, that like are just have that, R-worded strength and just can't be killed. That's scary. I'm not saying it's not, but it's just not the same as the original Michael Myers. And then you got the David Gordon Green trilogy, 2018.
Yeah. Then
you got Halloween Kills in 21, Halloween Ends in 22. There were a lot of mixed feelings about those, but man, I love all things Halloween, man.
Was it Halloween Kill? To me, it wasn't a great movie. To me, it was like a B movie.
It was not the strongest, but here's the thing. You also didn't, you saw that one before you saw the Halloween 1, 2018.
Now, everybody said it should have ended with the one in 2018.
Maybe.
But what I liked about the Halloween Kills is when the whole town tried to jump him.
That was funny.
And then you had that one guy that was acting tough the whole movie.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. That was so funny. He said some real blatantly dumb shit, man, in the beginning of it. It was funny.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm glad he killed that guy.
I mean, I could tell that first dumb line he said. I was like, oh, he's going to die. He's going to die, man. That dude's dead at some point. I don't know what's Act 3. He'll be dead.
And then they had that whole B plot. I guess it was a B plot with the guy running around. I guess he escaped from prison or something. Yeah. That was unnecessary.
That was totally unnecessary. Poor guy too.
And he falls out the window.
Yeah, but here the point remains the same. You need to see the 2018 one.
Okay.
And even if it whatever, I suggest watching the whole thing in order. You've already seen Kills, but forget about Kills. Just watch 2018. You'll be happy that you did.
All right, I'm gonna watch that.
But I mean. We could talk horror forever. We'll shift gears here in a second, but you got so many great, categories within horror. You got all the Stephen King movies that have been adapted. Some of those are hit or miss, but some of them are great. You got the original It, then you got the remakes It Part 1 and 2. You got the Hellraiser series. You got the Scream series.
Wait, you made Hellraiser?
No. I'm shifting gears. No, I'm just talking about there's so many different categories of horror, and you got all those, man. We just talked about, the original Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, yeah.
A great
first two.
Yeah. The 3 and 4 don't even count. You know, some people don't even like 2. But listen, Jeepers Creepers 1, I liked 2. It was all right, but Jeepers Creepers 1, that was that one, man.
Yeah.
It took it back. It was like throwback to that. It had that like 70s horror feel to it, man. That was just extremely terrifying.
Yeah.
It was executed well. But I mean, you can go all the way back to the Hitchcock era, man. There's just some great horror films, man. So many great horror films, and it's like we appreciate each like category and subgenre for what they are. Each one has a different thing. Each one hits a different button. Different nuance to
Besides
it.
thrillers, I hate thrillers.
You hate thrillers?
Yeah, like The Nun. That might be a horror movie to some. That was a thriller.
Yeah, I mean, and some people do. They define
I think
different
the
things.
best movie from the Conjuring universe is The Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring. Well, they like to piggyback off of that word, so it's convenient to attach The Nun and The Nun 2 to the Conjuring series. Obviously,
that was so disturbing. Like that first Conjuring movie. Oh my.
Oh, it was fantastic, man. It was fantastic.
The mother was possessed by a witch. I mean, it was
Yeah,
disturbing.
it was amazing.
I watched them all, but after that, they weren't no good.
You didn't like 2 or 3?
No, Annabelle was trash too.
Annabelle was trash.
Dude, they was thrillers. Like,
yeah. I mean, but thrillers are good for what they are. It just depends on
God.
It just depends on which one. I mean, we all have our preference again. So,
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The Conjuring was good. I liked The Nun and The Nun 2, but they weren't like. I wasn't like, hey, yay for this great horror series. I mean, it was all right. I tell you what, I did rewatch this week. That was good. Sinister. Did you see Sinister?
Is
With
that
Ethan
the
Hawke?
one with the thing that come out of the like from another dimension or something like that?
Well,
the thing with no face.
Well, this has a face. It's just kind of distorted. It's it's the thing that makes the children kill the families. Man, it was good.
I seen both parts.
I saw the second one, but I don't remember it, so I want to rewatch it as well.
I don't either.
But it may be that it's forgettable. It definitely didn't get a lot of. It didn't. What's wrong?
Oh, headphones sliding on.
Oh, it didn't get. You can tighten them right here if you need to. But it's like one of those ones where, to me, I define a good horror movie by. It doesn't have to do this, but it's definitely a well-executed thing if I feel the tingle down my spine and the chill bumps. That's when it's like, oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it has to terrify me, and many of these movies, they not really terrifying. They enjoyable to watch, but it's like, it's not a horror movie.
Yeah. Like Tonight was highly upsetting and disturbing.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man.
Put you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, it did. That's why coming back to Longlegs, y'all got to go see it for sure. But anyway, we could talk about. I mean, I got literally a list of all these.
Before we wrap up, what is your top 5 horror movies?
Oh man, top 5.
Or
wow, that's a tough one.
Or top 5 genres. I mean, like Halloween.
You mean like this different series?
Yeah, different series.
I got you. Okay, I'm gonna say. I'll say. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip here. I'm gonna say, the original Halloween, 1978. The Shining. It Follows.
Oh man, that was good.
Fantastic. This may change. It's just what I'm thinking of right now. Jeepers Creepers. Oh man, that's tough. You put me on the spot there. I feel almost like I'm committing a crime by not mentioning any of the Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I love them, but they're just not in my favorites.
I never watched a Friday the 13th movie.
None of them? Wow.
I think the only one I'm gonna say the only one that I probably did see was the new one.
And I mean, we're not even mentioning the Jordan Peele era. I mean, Get Out's on my list, but I'd say that's at least in my top 10. I'll just say those are my 5 right now. You put me on the spot, but 5 great movies.
Well, my
you
5
can't beat
gonna
that.
be Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead 1, the original,
The new Winnie the Pooh.
They did make a horrible.
Blood and Honey. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah, go see it. Or rent it.
Scream.
I was gonna say Scream, the original Scream,
original
man. Come
Scream.
on now. Yeah.
Y'all might laugh. Is it called Child's Play?
Yeah. No,
Chucky.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, the original.
The original Child's Play. I mean, that's scary, man.
That was disturbing.
Yeah.
And number 5 would have to be. Dang, it's just a lot of movies.
It is so many to choose from.
It's so many. To choose
Wait, I mean,
from.
honestly, our list may change, but these are definitely in our top.
I'm about to say John Carpenter's Thing. That movie.
The Thing.
So.
The Thing was good, man.
Scary and disturbing.
That was good. That was good. Oh my gosh.
So my dad was telling me about that. He said, "Man, you got to see that one. You like horror movies, you got to watch that one."
Yeah. When the thing comes out of the dude. Oh my
head.
god.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So anyway, well, I tell you what. We'll have another horror segment for sure. It's one that we could talk on for a while and explore the different layers of for sure. But we're going to shift gears and go to our last segment, something a little bit interesting and special. And we're going to close with this. And I hope that you find this entertaining. I hope that you find this engaging. I hope you find this interesting. And honestly, I hope that it provokes you to engage in this yourself. I'm actually daring you to. Okay, I hope I don't do this. I'm talking a big game and then I'm going to fail, Mike. But so this segment is something we're going to have regularly. It may be a bit bizarre, but we like it. Maybe you've heard of something called 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, kind of a little fun party or parlor trick sort of deal, if you will. And what it means is the theory was that you could take any actor and that has maybe never played in a movie with Kevin Bacon, and by connecting this actor to other actors that he's played with, and then connect those actors to other actors, and then so on and so forth, like a links in a chain, that it could always lead back to Kevin Bacon. That was the theory. Well, this is a different iteration of that, and basically it just means that we believe that I believe you can take any two actors, doesn't matter who, and you can that have maybe never played in anything together, and you can connect them to each other simply by using the connectors of other actors they've played with in other movies. And we don't have a better name for it right now, so we're just going with 6 Degrees of Movie Bacon. Besides, who wouldn't love to have some nice bacon in a movie? So it kind of fits there for that reason as well. So let me just kind of give you the rundown. I'm going to read it to you so that the rules are clear, okay? Okay. The challenge is to connect any two actors that have never played anything together with each other using other actors in films they've played in together as connecting pieces. You can I'll submit to you that you can absolutely connect any known actor to another known actor, even if they've never starred together, using 6 connections, or 6 degrees, if you will, or less, connecting actor to actor and movie to movie from your starting point to your ending point. These have to be known actors to be used. They don't have to necessarily be the A-list stars or lead every time. They can be supporting status, but they have to have been in enough movies to be known, okay? It cannot be cross-generational either. You can't connect Buster Keaton with Ryan Reynolds. Let's not be stupid. The time limit is 3 to 4 minutes. 3 minutes or less is the ultimate challenge and puts you in masterful status. But 4 minutes or less is satisfactory as well. Gender connections are irrelevant. You can choose any two, male to male, female to female, or female to male, or whatever they define themselves as. The gender it does not matter. You can choose whoever. And I want to stress this point real quick. The challenger may use a phone. He's the challenger here. He may use a phone. The challenger, if you do this at home, may use the phone and Google to choose the actors, to find two that you can verify haven't been in anything together and that are unrelated in roles. But the challenged cannot. I'm the challenged. I can't. The only thing that I can use is my brain. I can, however, be shown a picture of the actor by the challenger if I'm foggy on who it is. Most of the time, I got the names down. I'm freaking weird. And then, of course, in the end, the challenger may check the math of the challenged to verify the legitimacy of the connections. I'm going to demonstrate this for you right now. Mike's got challenges for me. I don't know about these. He's challenged me before. Have I been stumped yet, Mike?
Not yet.
Yeah, I've never been stumped. It's really weird. And it would be really embarrassing if I said all that and then my first demonstration of it, I get stumped. But I don't think I will. But he's I don't know these two names that he's giving me right now. He's got some that he's researched beforehand that he's going to drop on me now, and I've got to connect them. So
I think he's going to get stumped this time.
Oh, man. Without further ado, 6 degrees of movie bacon. What you got?
I got Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Cruise.
Really?
Yeah.
You go, okay. I got this.
Never played in the movie together.
I know. Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay. Tom Cruise. Let's see.
Wait, before we do this, you want 3 minutes or 4 minutes?
That's fine. That's fine. 3's fine. We'll start it at 3. If I need another minute, I'll let you know. I got this. Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Cruise. Let's see. I got this. Let's see. Man, I just had that. It was there and then it went. I hate my brain how it does that. Okay, I got this. Yes, it is. It is. Oh, man. Oh, got it. Here we go. Booyah. And I got a minute and 45 seconds left. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. We got you right here. All right. Tom Cruise played an incredibly exciting and interesting role in the movie Tropic Thunder. Do you remember that? Yeah. So funny. He played in Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller. Okay? Ben Stiller played in... Okay, so that's your first piece right there, okay? All right? That's the starting point, okay? Tropic Thunder. Then your first degree, your first connection is Ben Stiller played in Tower Heist with Eddie Murphy. Oh, yeah. Eddie Murphy played in the new Beverly Hills Cop Axel F with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which then takes you to Joseph Gordon-Levitt played in Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, done in 3 degrees. Oh, yeah. The champion remains the champion. Okay, that's
5 seconds to spare.
Man, that felt good. Oh, God, am I boasting? Am I proud about this thing that
Want
doesn't
another
mean...
Want another one?
Y'all think I can't do it again? Think I can do another one back to back? I got it. Give me another one. And then we'll wrap this thing up. 6 degrees of movie bacon. And honestly, while he's getting this together, let me say this. I want you to try this at home. More than anything, though, I would love to be challenged. If you think that you can stump me, I would love for you to try. We have an email, which you can email us if you got any questions or you got any comments or suggestions. We'd love to engage with you. But our email is thereelcinefiles@gmail.com, and we're going to put all of our links in our description. It seems like what better time to do this than now.
Yeah.
We'll put all our links in the description on our channel on YouTube. But we're on Spotify, RSS.com, Podbean, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I think
I think that's most of them. We're on most of the platforms. We're in the process of getting on Amazon as well, and iHeart. We'll be on most of the regular platforms. You should be able to find us. But for these purposes, our info will be in the description box under the video on on here, and I don't know why I'm not finding my words. But our email again, thereelcinefiles@gmail.com. thereelcinefiles @gmail.com. Yes, I can still spell. It's amazing. But here's the thing. You may be asking yourself, how can I know that you're not going to look at that beforehand and go ahead and figure it out and Google it or whatever? Well, first of all, I'm too arrogant about this to cheat. I just put it that way. Michael attests to this. So I won't do it. It'll partly be on the honor system. So you'll have to just believe that I won't do it. But my suggestion is, if you really want to challenge me, you really think you can stump me, then put in the subject line 6 degrees or challenge, and I will know that's not for me to look at. That's for Mike, and he'll answer those emails, and he'll challenge me when the time comes. I can't think of a better way to do it unless they were to contact you privately.
Yeah, they can send it my email.
Okay, what is it? It was Mike?
Mike Griff.
Mike Griff 21, right? Or 19?
Yeah, 21 @gmail.com.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike, MikeGriff 21 @gmail.com. That would be the easiest thing. That way I can't get his email. So if you think you can challenge me, you think you can stump the master, then email him the names. So I'll do one more for you, and then we'll wrap this show up. This has been a great time, man.
Let's see.
Well, you got me wanting to take my headphones off too. We don't even need them.
Yeah, they kept falling off. I'm sitting there fighting them. You're going to see it in the video, but
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp.
Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp. Well, it seems like it's too easy.
It might be.
Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp.
They were good friends, but I can't find no movies with them together.
Yeah. It's okay. I think I got this. Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp. Okay. There's a couple ways I could go here.
Take the long way around, the short way.
I know, right? Let's see. Robert Downey Jr. and Johnny Depp. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Oh, man.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna have to go the long way. Okay, I'm gonna go the long way. All right, let's go. Okay, so Johnny Depp was in The Tourist with Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie was in Wanted with James McAvoy, who was in X-Men First Class with X-Men Days of Future Past with Hugh Jackman, who was in Prisoners with Terrence Howard, who was in the original Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Done in 5. Not even 6. It was 4 or 5, I think.
35 seconds.
Do you need to check on that math on that?
Oh, no,
I wasn't really that proud of that particular chain, but I did it nonetheless. I'd like to use some more, lesser known obscure movies, but if the connecting pieces are easy to use and they're there at my disposal, I might as well use them. But anyway, there you go. 6 degrees of movie bacon. It's a lot of fun. It may just be a narcissistic game for me. Who knows? But I'm enjoying it. I hope you do too. It's a lot of fun. Try and do it. Honestly, I hope some people try and do it on TikTok or whatever. But anyway, so man, this has been a great show.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun. This is our first show. We're so glad that you joined us. We hope you stuck around for the whole thing. If not, there will be some shorter videos breaking up the episode into different segments. But if you like us, we'd love for you to follow us on YouTube. We ask you to please like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And check us out on all the platforms. Like I said, we're on Spotify, RSS Feed, Podbean. We'll be on Amazon soon. iHeart. How many more uhs can I get in this episode?
What about Google?
What do you mean Google?
I think Google have like podcasts on it.
There's some other stuff on there. We're working on it. We should be able to be found on most of the main platforms you would use, but we are on Facebook as well. Give us a like there, like our page. Anyway, we got a lot of fun stuff in store in the coming episodes. We love movies. We hope you do too. We encourage you to, watch movies at home. It's great. We're spoiled. You can stream anything. You can pause it. We're past the age of commercials, unless you're poor and you have ads on your streaming platform. I'm just kidding. But watch movies however you have to. It's support the industry, support the art form, but more than anything, go to movies, go to the theaters, go out and experience them again. Some people still have not let themselves fully bounce back from COVID. That was one of the hardest things that happened. The theater and the theaters, going to the movies, was wounded because of that stupid virus. But some people still haven't fully, reacclimated. But go to the theaters, man. It's fun. There's nothing like it. We want you to do that.
And we know the economy and the crap, but we're not saying go to the movies every week. You know what I'm saying? If you have it in your budget, you go to the movies.
Yeah, we don't want you to go broke. I kind of do want them to go broke.
Go broke.
Go broke, man. Go in the red on your bank account. It doesn't matter. No. Yeah, but seriously, you can leave the whole going to the movies every week or multiple times a week to weirdos like me. But at least go. Just go.
Yeah.
Go every now and then. Go once a month. If you want me to take you, I'll take you. He'll tell you. I'll go by myself all the time. I ain't got nobody to go with all the time. I have to drag him when I can, when we have a regular thing every weekend. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you come back for more. And also, remember, email us if you got any questions. All right, The Real Cine-Files, we're out.